What is up, guys? Welcome back to Conversation episode number 58. Today, I have a very special guest, actually, one of the best um, people I can have. It's my lovely wife, uh, Jazmin Quintero. So, today, we're going to be, talking about books, self development, what has she learned in the short years that she has lived of becoming a nurse to becoming an entrepreneur. What was that journey like, and what was that transition like from not only physically but mentally on how she overcame obstacles and how I guess she overcame people doubting her, not only friends but family and just everything. And maybe we'll get into some politics and books that she likes and
We're just gonna wing it.
yeah, we're just winging it. So if you enjoy the episode, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It'll help us out to grow the channel. Obviously, we're trying to grow, and I have lined up some very special guests that it's gonna be a little different because they will be in Spanish. So if any of y'all have Spanish speaking, they will be in Spanish.
Español.
So I do speak Spanish. Both of us speak Spanish. That's something that maybe if y'all don't know, it's something that you learn now. So yes. So like I said, you were first. First of all, who are you in high school? And if we would have been in high school together, would we have hung around the same circles, or would I have even known of you, or what?
In high school?
Yeah, in high school. If we were both in high school, obviously,
Yeah. Obviously.
just a little bit older than you,
Yeah,
so.
almost a decade. Would we have hung out in the same circles? I don't think so.
And why not?
Because you were like an athlete and I was just a nobody.
Why do you say you're a nobody?
Because I was just, I would blend in. I was a good, what's that?
Chameleon?
Yeah. If I was with the gangsters, I would just, blend in. If I was with, that's it.
That's it. That's all you hang
That's
out
all,
with.
yeah, wannabe gangsters.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, for sure we probably wouldn't have hung out.
Yeah.
Even though I was friends with with the variety of people.
So was I, but
it didn't matter if you're an athlete, nerd. I had a lot of nerd friends. I was probably in it. I liked the same kind of stuff. So then I liked cars. I liked obviously soccer and sports and so. First of all, were you in any sports or did you ever compete?
No.
You didn't compete?
No, you already know.
I know, but we're
pretending like we're having this conversation from the beginning. So
yes, because it's for the audience.
I wanted to do basketball. Actually, I signed up for basketball 10th grade. And then I went to the orientation and the coach was like, and y'all are going to do this. And she just starts like going at it. And I was like, oh shit, like what did I do? This is not what I signed up for. Or like I was just nervous. Like I was like, dang it, like she's gonna, because like I was trying to practice and like dribble, but and I'm short too, so it's kind of challenging. So she was kind of intimidating me, basically.
Yeah.
To the point where I was like, dang, I'm not really good at basketball, but I know I can run. Like, I'm a decent runner. So then I decided that first day, I was like, I need to go switch and go to track because I was like, that's just running. It's easier, like, less skill needed.
Yeah.
Even though it is a lot of skill, but it's just, like, not the ball, whatever. And so I went to track, but I never competed because I was a coward.
So you never went to like any out of town with it?
Nope.
So you would just practice and the coach was okay with that? Or how did the conversation with the coach go?
She just let me be on the team but never compete. Because I wasn't good enough anyways. Like, I wasn't, there was faster people. There was better people, so she didn't miss me.
You never tried like the long jump or any relays?
Just the 200, supposedly. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But then, that's when I got shin splints. Real bad. And I have weak ankles. And it was because I was wearing the wrong shoes. That gave me shin splints, I want to say. So then I was always, like, having to go to the trainer, like, ice them out and stuff. But I did practice a lot. Like, during lunch, I think you go. Not during lunch, but like during the day and then after school. So I was like on it, but never like
You were on what?
the team, but I never competed.
Never competed. So what, like, when you were in high school, let's say you're coming to your senior year, what made you decide to go into the medical field?
Oh, that's easy. So my brother, he's 8 years older than me, and he was always a role model. And he became an RN right out of high school. And so he was always kind of like the model that I would follow. And my parents wanted to push me to do, it's like everybody knows that I'm busy and it's just like text after text after
Oh, you're
text.
talking about right now?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
like, I want to take off my watch. But, anyways, so I decided I wanted to do cosmetology in high school because I was like, I just want to back up. Like, I want to, like, what if I hate nursing? Like, I knew I wasn't grossed out by blood or vomit or, like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm pretty sure I can do it, but what if I'm wrong? And I don't want to do something, like, because my parents were like, why don't you do CNA just like your brother? And I was like,
oh, he did that while he was
in
high
college.
school?
No,
Oh,
he did
in
it
high
in
school?
college.
Okay. Oh, in
But
college.
you could do it in high school. So they wanted me to do it in high school. And I was like, no, I'm going to do cosmetology. So then I did cosmetology. And then, and then right out of high school. Actually, I started college before I graduated high school.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So were you one of the oddballs out, one that, like, started college before? Or
Yeah.
because you were already planning, you're like, I know what I want to do, so I want to go ahead and
Yeah,
pursue
like,
it? Or
you know this, like, my plans changed. Like, I was supposed to go out of town and had all these other plans. And then, so here's like a piece of advice. Like, if you are dependent on somebody, like I was counting on this person to pretty much take care of me or promised me a future. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. Like that. Like one fight or whatever it is, and it's gone. That pushes me. That's like, okay, well, I'll show you how. Like, and then it kind of like snapped too in my brain. Like, how was I so like dependent? Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, why don't you have a plan? Why don't you have a backup plan for that plan if that failed? Like, I didn't have a backup plan. And thankfully, it happened soon enough that it gave me time to create like my plan. Because I'm a planner. Like, I have to have a destination and, like, okay, I need to do this. Even though it's, like, scattered, it's kind of like a messy room, but I know where everything's at. And I know what's next. So, as soon as that happened, then I, like, grinded and was like, I'm going to do this. And that's what happened. Like, and thankfully, my parents support all that because they had to pay extra. Because because I didn't have a diploma yet. So, like, I don't know what it was. Like, I didn't qualify for financial aid yet because I didn't have a diploma. So, thankfully, it does require some support, and they were all in for me to start. I had homework literally graduation night.
I guess that's the part, since I went to a trade school, that I don't understand about.
So did I, though. Oh, for college.
Yeah, for college. Like I don't understand how.
Financial aid?
Yeah, because most financial aid people don't have their diploma. Like, from what you're getting it while you're still in high school, don't you?
High school diploma is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Don't most. I mean, I could be ignorant. I don't know. Like I said, I went to a trade school, so I don't specifically know the ins and outs.
If you have to have a diploma to go to college?
No, obviously you have to have a diploma to go to college, but like while you're applying to colleges, couldn't you get financial aid prior to getting
I don't know if that was the reason. I just know that they had to pay.
Yeah. Because I know,
'Cause
like, people
something
get
didn't kick
scholarships
in.
or.
Yeah, I didn't get a scholarship.
Yeah.
So I just know they had to pay early or something, or I don't know if it was because of the diploma or starting early. I'm not sure. I just know that they did.
Okay, so let's talk about now you're in college,
Now I'm in college.
and you're going through the one of the things. So let me ask you this: I've been watching a lot of, I forgot his name, Charlie Kirk, I believe. I could be wrong. I forgot his name. He's really big in YouTube and stuff like that. It's kind of like the Ben Shapiro and all that. He's been asking, do you believe that Do you believe college is a scam?
Yes.
And if so, why?
Because they want money. It's so stupid to me. Like, well, okay, here's where I have a conflict because I try to look at each side. I don't know if it's the Libra or just like I try to be an equal debater. So my debate is if you know what you want to do, why not let me go straight into that? Like, why do I have to? Like, obviously, the prerequisites for that, like anatomy, the other crap that I don't even know,
Biology?
chemistry that I didn't even take, like, just so many things. But a musician wants to play guitar. Why does he have to
Take
take a
math and
chemistry class?
English. Yeah.
Is that gonna help with the violin? No. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But most likely no, right? Like the just general answer is no. So why waste the money? Why force them to take that class? Like you already forced 12 years of math, history, science, da 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 da. Why keep doing it when you're paying for it?
Yeah. So
Why
you're saying
force it?
for the
It should be
basics.
actually, you know what? Since I'm paying for it, I should be able to choose which class I take or not. And they can, I guess, require certain classes to be done for that trade. I say, not basics. Like, what are basics? We just do 12 years of basics? Haven't we been doing that this whole time? Or maybe give you the option to test out of some things.
Hmm.
Like,
But I feel like even if they gave you the option to test out like of history or even math, even English, I feel like people would fail it.
well,
Like,
then
like
maybe they need the class.
it's so funny because
No, I mean,
on the
really.
well, no, maybe they don't need the class. I don't. I mean, I completely agree with you with the at least with the basics. There are certain parts that I do believe people need to go to college, like for like lawyers, doctors, nurses. But like if you want them to go on a financial, like, what is it called? Was it liberal arts or,
Yeah, like an
like
artist.
yeah,
Do
like
they
I don't
really need to
think I
spend
think they
time
should be more
learning
of
math or?
like a trade school. Like you can just go straight into the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, this is how you play music. This is how you
Mm-hmm.
play, and whatever you want to do. Um, so that's interesting. So how was your college experience? As you
I
were
don't
like
remember it.
once you got into the RN program.
Oh, in the program? Oh, okay. So I think we were engaged because you even went with me to orientation,
Mhm.
and I was still working the at Sport Clips, and then because I worked through college, right? The basics were like easy, in my opinion. Well, like I did fail, like two classes, which is statistics, stupid class, and
You took it in the summer, right? You had to retake it for
no, I
summer.
didn't have
No.
to retake it. I got a D. I remember because I'm like, what the hell? Like, he couldn't even give me like sympathy points for being in his freaking office like almost every day after. Like,
Mm.
help me understand it because the math is my worst ever subject. And statistics was horrible for me. And
So what did
he
it
didn't
teach you
even
in
give me. I don't know.
statistics?
I
Can you
think
say
it's
it?
like the statistics of probabilities of shit happening. I don't know. I really don't know. But I remember that one I failed in anatomy. That's the one I redid in the summer because you needed that for the course. So nursing school. Okay, so sport clips. I was working, and thankfully we were blessed enough. Well, not really because it stressed you out more, but you kind of took that burden for me to quit. Well, we weren't married yet.
Mm-mm.
So I was still at home and I was able to quit sport clips because I failed my first test. Remember? It was like,
Mhm.
oh shit, this shit is serious. Like, this isn't like failing the statistics test. This is nursing school. Like, there's no second chances because there's only 4 tests in the whole semester.
Oh, okay.
So like they take the average of that and like if you screw up really bad and you pass the rest, there's a chance you still fail. So then that scared me, and so I quit my job like right away, and then gained 40 pounds because I was so stressed. Like, and remember, I didn't even want to go back to level 4. I had to get on drugs, like not illegal drugs, prescription, to focus. I forgot what it's called, but that's bad. I don't recommend that. Like
How many people do you think in college right now are taking
drugs or
that's
help.
Yeah, like what do they call like HD? What is it?
ADHD. That's not the same
It's
thing.
not.
That's for a condition. It's
No, no, no.
like Ritalin.
But don't they take like certain kind of like to keep you focused or something
Hmm.
like a focus
How
drug?
many do I think?
Yeah.
The serious ones, the ones that are like
But like if you were to give it like
a percentage.
yeah, percentage, 50%, 80%,
Let's do 60.
60. That's pretty high.
Cause
I think it's higher. I think
it's
especially.
probably higher, but I'm giving them the benefit
I
of the
think
doubt.
especially once you get into like the
Lawyers,
not the
like,
community
if you think of-
colleges, but the
yeah,
like
I'm thinking community.
no like the
High
universities
end.
like
Oh,
UT, A&M,
high end,
Harvard,
especially if they're not
Brown.
like if they pay for it or they have a scholarship. Like if they have more risk, right, of losing it, not like, oh, daddy's gonna pay for me even if I fail.
I still think that even them.
I think it's the pressure. It depends on the pressure. If they have a high pressure, I think
Yeah.
they're on it. Some. I don't know. Hopefully they're not, but if they are, who cares? I mean, as long as you're not hurting yourself, who cares?
Yeah.
If it's not hurting your health, I could care less. I'm pro drugs, so don't ask me. If you have a headache, take the Tylenol. Take
And
the
she's not
ibuprofen.
meaning heroin, cocaine.
No, not illegal
like,
drugs.
When you say it like that, you.
No, I've never
Yeah.
done drugs, actually. Illegal drugs.
You need to be more specific.
I've never
Yeah.
smoked weed or
No,
even
no,
a
no.
cigarette.
I'm saying like when you say drugs, that is a very
Prescription.
broad.
Prescription.
You know, like
And
most
not
people
abuse.
don't think.
Not abuse. I don't support abuse, obviously. But like, if it's not hurting your health and it's helping you, do it.
Do it. So you get into, let's move on to, okay, you get out of college, you graduate,
Mm-hmm.
you pass the state test, which was very stressful.
Yep.
Now you're a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like, and what, for people that are looking into get into the nursing field and the medical field, what do they, like if somebody's watching this in their high school or like thinking about doing this, what do you recommend or what do they, how do I say this? What can they expect?
Okay. Here's my dream scenario. This is what I think would help a lot. I don't know if it's possible because of like security violate, like you're around that, but it would be cool if you could shadow a nurse before you even think about taking all the school for nursing. Because that's where I'm saying like that's where I'm saying it's hard to call college a scam because they give you these options. What if you sucked at being a nurse, but you could fall back because you did all these other classes? Like, oh, but I kind of liked that one. I didn't think I would like blah, blah, blah. And college made me take it. So there's my passion. What if that happens? So it's like I have that conflict. But I wish that you could shadow a nurse and really shadow them in a good one. Not those that are like miserable and just like negative. Like somebody that's like just neutral. They don't love it, but they don't hate it. Like, so they could give you an honest opinion.
I don't know, but I feel like most people hate their jobs after a certain amount. I think the grand majority of people.
Some love it though. And what if you stick with the person that loves it so much? I'd rather be stuck with the one that loves it but tells you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, look, I love what I do, but just know that do I love wiping butt? Like, no, but I know that it comes part of the job, and I love making that person clean and feel better. Like, they view it in a positive way instead of a negative.
So, like, before you became a nurse, what were your expectations, or what did you think a nurse was, and then after you became a nurse, what was it in reality?
Okay, so I remember hanging out with my brother, and his coworkers would complain a lot, but I just always saw them as just like complainers. Like, they just seemed negative type of people. Even back then at a young age. So that's kind of like, I got that perspective, but I didn't pay attention to it. So when I became a nurse, I don't know. I think it was just...
Yeah, like what did you think it was? Like for me, whenever I always thought of a nurse, I always picture what they show you on TV. Like,
assisting the doctor.
Assisting the doctor. Give me the spatula or give me the
That's the
scissors.
surgery. That's the surgery department.
But that's what most people like think. But that's not the reality, especially once you went into it. Like
depending
I learned,
on what you pick,
it's like I couldn't do that. I didn't know there was like, different choices, which was crazy.
Yeah, there are so many different. So it's like whatever is your preference. Like if you wanted to work with moms and babies or cancer patients or emergency room or the operating room. I think I would have loved the operating room. I don't know why I never tried to get there. But it was hard. It's kind of like it wasn't it. You know what was like what you hear all your life. It's who you know,
Hmm.
right? I guess my brother didn't have that much pull, but even though he was like nurse of the year and blah, 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 but I didn't like try to use it too much. I wasn't like I'm his little sister. You should hire
But he
me.
was also not in the department, right?
And you can't work with your sibling,
he was on the
anyways.
floor, right? He
You
was
can't. Oh, you can work with your sibling. They just can't be in charge of you. And since he was always like a charge nurse, I couldn't ever work with him, anyways. But they knew I was his sister. What I'm saying is, I thought that was gonna get me the job because I was like, finally, it's gonna be my turn to be like, who you know. Didn't work. Didn't help. Cause I'm talking about a tech job. That's what helped me as a nurse. That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
helps you as a nurse.
That's what helped me as a nurse get the perspective of what I would be doing as a nurse.
Mm.
Because then there I learned you do all the crap work. Like you do what CNAs do.
Well, isn't that what
And
the high
it's so,
school? Like, if you would have took that
yeah.
CNA job, you would have realized, like,
Yes.
oh crap, this isn't what I actually maybe want,
Mm,
or because
I
the
don't know if it's like some people will get that realization there. For me, it didn't like it wasn't a I didn't hate it just because I had to clean people. Like it wasn't you're helping. You're helping. So for me, it wasn't a negative.
yeah.
But for some people that, so, like I've heard, like we've heard, right? These people that are like, oh, when I'm a nurse, the CNA is gonna do it. That's not the best nurse, in my opinion. Like the way you're trained is like you take care of your patient, whether there's Joe there to help you.
Mm.
Like you're
To
the
to a
ultimately.
certain extent, right? Because I know some patients that try to take advantage too. Like,
Oh yeah.
they'll be like heavier, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna catch me," and it's
Oh
like,
my
"No, I'm
gosh.
not. Like,
Yeah.
the floor is gonna catch you."
You don't say it, but you think it. Like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna catch you. You're like 300 pounds.
Well, let's say they even that big. Let's say they were irregular size, like a male. Like,
Unfortunately, some
you're.
people try to catch them, and it's like
I
it's
know.
your job to keep them safe. That's what sucks. Is that you gotta sometimes hurt yourself to help somebody else. That happened to my mom. My mom was a CNA, and she tried to catch a patient, and boom, her discs got all jacked up, and then couldn't work after that. And then you can't come back to work. Well, guess what? You don't have a job. So
So what? At what point did you realize that, you know what, maybe this nurse thing isn't for me?
okay, that's a good one because my personality is my personality. I'm more like a lone wolf. I
Okay.
know I like people. I just don't like people that are like crappy. Like just like it was just a bad time to go to work. Like I was just on the worst team. Like nobody helped anybody. They wouldn't even talk. Like it just sucked. Like it was such a pain in the ass just to get somebody to sign insulin for you. Like, cause you have to have two nurses. It's like, who can I ask? And when you're at that position, it's like, who can I ask? They're gonna get all annoyed that I'm asking them, even though it's like our job, right? That's where I was like, this sucks. Like I hate it here. I hate it here. And
You,
then we got a new manager, and she was like, she kept listening to the people that in my opinion, were like evil. Like, come to find out they're evil. Like, I poke myself with the needle right, and she's just like, "Oh, you'll be fine. You'll be all right." Like, not wanting to follow procedure, like not wanting to
mm,
go that extra step to make sure that I'm safe, because she had a, what's it called? Like a vendetta against my brother. Like she didn't like him from some experiences. She knew we were related, and you know, did that. So like she would listen to those people, and I'm like, so it shows me her character. I'm like, if you're listening to these freaking people, I don't think I trust your judgment. And so I started hating it, hating it, hating it. Mainly, I think I want to say it to people. Like it just sucked. And then finally, I got the opportunity to go into day surgery, which like I loved. And if we wouldn't have moved, maybe I wouldn't be an entrepreneur.
so before, what were your position?
Medical surgical. just like
Okay, so you
general.
were at the floor.
Yep.
Okay, and then you went to
Day
day
surgery, which is
surgery.
outpatient.
And what does that entail? Like, what makes it so different from what you were doing before to what you actually enjoyed?
So on medical surgical, they come from the ER straight to the floor, or from surgery straight to the floor. Like it's a longer stay, not long term, but just longer. 12-hour shifts, three of those a week, and everything. Like you have to just know everything. Like you could have a heart patient, uh, freaking gastric,
Bypass.
yeah, and you could have a mom and baby. Like they were mixing it so much that it was just crazy, and so it was just a lot more crap to deal with. And then day surgery was like to me just like so like peaceful because it could only be so many things. Like it's a lot too. It's just I don't know. It was a way better team. Like I said, the people make a big difference. Like shout out to Susanna, Tony, like my A team. Naomi was the manager, and she was a lot better at dealing with people and just nicer.
So I just had a question. That came to my head, which I thought, if you could see, it has kind of a smile, and I think it's a little ridiculous, especially now. People at Bucky's can make
Mm-hmm.
more than a nurse starting out, and to me that blows me away because people at Bucky's aren't dealing with people's lives. And I feel like the minimum that a nurse should make at any hospital, like countrywide, and this is my opinion, you can, not agree with it or you can agree
Mm-hmm.
with it, is I think it should be minimum 35 to 40. And then the high end, it should be from 80 to $90. Like you're like the top nurse, you're making $90 an hour.
What'd you say at first? 25 to 30?
No, I said 35 to 40 starting
Oh,
out. Like
starting out.
you just graduated
Yeah.
college, your
Mm-hmm.
first job is 35, 40. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody at Bucky's can get like
20.
25,
Yeah, they
almost $30,
right now Bucky's is
that's crazy.
paying more than what I started at.
And for people that maybe don't know, Bucky's is a big Texas like gas
Gas station.
station. Like people at a gas station are making 25 to
Which
$30 an
not that
hour.
they're like
Yeah, they're not that they're bad people.
like you said
It's just
they're not
the
saving lives. You never know. They could
I'm
be
not saying that
saving
they're not
lives.
saving. Like I'm saying they're not dealing with people's lives. Like they're
But they
like they
are
don't.
because they gotta like mop up a spill. Because what if they didn't mop up that spill and then boom somebody breaks their neck?
Okay, I don't. Okay, that's
I'm just saying it's not as risky. It's not as like high intensity.
Yeah, you don't
like,
have somebody that potentially could be
Yes.
having a stroke. Yeah,
Yes,
it's.
yes, yes, yes. I guess 40, like 40. I was gonna say 50, but that's just me being biased.
But
starting
out, like when most what are they
I don't
starting
know.
out, like 20 maybe,
I started at like 22, I think, which is crazy.
and that was what
And I only got up to 30.
5 years ago.
I only got up to $30.
So that was what 5 years ago. Give or
$30
take?
with no benefits. So it should be 35 to 40.
And that was
with
because you were
benefits.
PRN.
PRN, yeah. But I worked a part time.
Like you worked a full
schedule.
time, yeah.
No, part time to full time schedule. Like sometimes it was part time. Because remember, like if the patients leave, then you gotta leave. So you might not get all your hours.
Mm.
But eventually, and then the medical surgical, young, they abuse the young, 100%. Like the older ladies, and I'm very helpful, so I kind of screw myself too. Like, oh, let me tell you about this one. Okay, this is what I don't like about nurses. There was this one nurse that were charting. What I don't like about nursing is they like what is your primary focus? To take care of the patient or to write about taking care of the patient? You know what I mean?
So
like there's a
charting?
difference. Yeah,
Yes,
charting. I'm not saying it's not important, but what is in priority? What is more important?
The patient.
Taking care of the patient first, like the actual physical part of patient care. And so what I didn't like is like, why are you valuing writing down when this patient's calling, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the bathroom. Because we're like right like the whole, we have the chart in the hallway so like you could hear it, the doors are open. And the nurse is next to me that's her patient, and she doesn't move. And I start getting like antsy, like, why aren't you moving? Like, go check on him. And then she calls the CNA, and the CNA tells her, yes, I'm on the other side. There's only one for like 30 people, one CNA for 30 people or more. And she's like, yeah, I'm on the other side of the hall. Like, it's going to be a while. Okay, click, still doesn't get up. I'm like, you just heard. And like, why would you even make her come? Whatever. Like, that's just my mentality. You know how I am. So I'm like, it's not fair. And she keeps saying, like, I need to go to the bathroom. Can somebody help me go to the bathroom? So at that point, I'm like, after she called, the CNA says, I'm busy. It's going to have to wait. And she still doesn't get up. I'm like, hey, can I help you get your patient up? No, I'm going to wait for Rachel to do it. Oh, dang it, I just said the name. But, shout out Rachel, best CNA ever. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, and I know Rachel, and I'm like, dude, how are you going to wait for somebody that just told you they're busy when you can do it? Like, it's not like you can't do it.
That to me seems laziness, just because and making it harder on yourself, because if she goes on herself, now you have to clean up that mess.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's like, I
And
don't
these
know,
are
it's
patients
like
that can't get up by themselves, just FYI. Like, it was like a surgery patient that needs assistance. It's not like,
Have
Mary
you had those?
Jo, what?
That like can go by themselves, and then they still try to like, hey, help me, or
yes, but that one wasn't. And I've had patients completely, fully autonomous, fully capable, and they shit on the bed on purpose, and
that's
we're
crazy.
like, oh,
and that's why I could never be a nurse.
Sorry,
I would get in trouble.
And I'm just like, this is what you do at home? Like, why would you do that here? Like, what's the difference between your home and here?
So what made you start thinking about doing entrepreneurship and
made me start thinking
like what?
The only downside, like really, like not the only downside. There's plenty, but like a big downside is that like if you want to do something, you gotta go to work. If I want to go out of town, let me check my schedule. Oh, I'm working. Oh, I can't go here. Oh, I can't just on the drop of a hat go wherever, and not enough money. You're underpaid, undervalued, and overworked.
Okay.
And no freedom. Like, you can't just say, hey, by the way, I won't be here because I'm going to go out of town.
But that sounds like every job. Like, every job is like that.
100%. And so that always bothers you. That's like that's a normal thing, right? Everybody suffers through it.
Mm-hmm.
But when an opportunity is presented that starts showing you that working less or working from home pays you the same or more, and all you have to do is something that's uncomfortable because it's not like you clock in and you get paid. You actually have to go talk to people and show them opportunities of like, just 1099. Like, you have to be your own boss. Like, and it's like, it's whatever. It's network marketing, which means that you have to actually sell people a product or service, right? That's what network marketing is. But what we found and experience is that products are harder. Mm-hmm. It's harder to add, because we tried it, right? We tried products. It's harder to add $100 to your budget every month and to come, because it was hard on us to do the same, right? Buy these products, sell these products, and then convince somebody to auto ship $100 every month to themselves. Okay, let's try it. It doesn't work. And then when they showed it to us in a service, it was like, they're already paying for it. Yeah, and at that time we were saving so much money, like switching people. And so, okay, you did it, right? You started that business without my knowledge, and I didn't care, right? Because I thought I was badass. I still thought I was like badass. Like, for our age, like there was only 3 of us out of high school from the same high school that graduated nursing school that young. And so we all freaking had a bloated ego. Like, dude, we're badass. Like, we're so young. We're only, 19 or 20 and have a degree already. Or was I? I don't know how old I was. 21 or something like that. And so I thought, I liked the level of respect and just, like, what's it called? Admiration of being a registered nurse. Everybody wants to be one. Everybody thinks it's like the best thing ever until you do it, and then you're like, dang, it's like some love it, like I said, but then some don't end up in the best position, and then it sucks. So, anyways, what's my point? So, the thing that motivated me was that my brother did the same business, my brother and his wife, and they started excelling, and I'm just very competitive. And I think it's always been I don't want to be left behind. Even though I'm 8 years younger, I don't want to be left behind. And that was my biggest motivator. Like, that's literally what I think snapped me out of it, of not listening to you, because every time Oscar would come to me and be like, hey, I think you should read this book. Hey, I just read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You should read it. Right? What would you tell me?
Well, I mean, I had already read those books. I think we were dating. Were we dating?
No, we were already married.
Well, then how was I reading them by myself? I remember. No, I had read them way before because it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was through another business, and a gentleman had told me I should read these 3 books, which was Rich Dad Poor Dad, Awaken the Giant Within, from Tony Robbins, and The Richest Man in Babylon. So I was at that time I was very hungry for knowledge of entrepreneurship, and so I probably read those or listened to those books. As if any of y'all know, I'm really bad at reading. English is my second language, so it's kind of been always hard for me to read. It's been a challenge. I can read. It just takes me a long time, and I didn't feel like taking months to just read one book. So I was being cheap, and I found them for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get Audible. I was like, man, I was willing to pay.
Oh my gosh, 15... Oscar! Don't call yourself cheap, because at that time you were very frugal.
People would say that's cheap.
But every dollar, you had a purpose for it. Like, you had goals, and it was like, I don't want this dollar going.
I mean, I still want to live that way, but
it doesn't work out that way.
It doesn't work out. But anyways, so I didn't see the value at the time in getting Audible, so I was just trying to find ways to get it for free, and I found all 3 of those books on YouTube. So every single night for about an hour I would listen to it, and I finished. I think within a week I finished those 3 books, and then once when people come into our team and
now,
one of the reasons why I highly recommend, and the first book that I think people should read is Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it opens up your mind from being an employee to an entrepreneur, to being self-employed, and it makes you realize that maybe the first few months, you might not get that money, right? It's because it's not a job, it's not an hourly thing. You're not getting
variable income.
Well, and you're not getting paid by the hour. I think a lot of us have always value our time, something that we cannot ever get back, something that's limited, and we're like, oh well, if they pay me $20 an hour or $30 an hour, you just added a value to your time, which is I don't think there's no value to it. It's invaluable.
It's invaluable.
So, but most people don't. We have been taught that like that since high school. High school teaches you that through everything, not just high school. Your parents been learning that. Why do you go to college? To get a good job, and that's the whole thing that Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki teaches that. We need to become entrepreneurs, invest in real estate, and make investments.
Invest in yourself.
Market. Yeah, invest in yourself. Most people, including myself, once you graduate college or high school, depending on your level of education, you no longer continue to read or continue to learn.
Because they're not forcing you.
Right.
It's not required.
It's not required. And then, so if you're not required, you're like, you believe you don't have to. But the people that are getting ahead, people that are multimillionaires, if you look at you think Warren Buffett, you think, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these rich people, even Joe Rogan or Patrick Bet, you don't think they're reading books every single
Mm-hmm.
day? They're trying to get to the next level of advancement. Like, oh, what do I need to? I need to start learning about AI because AI is going to be, coming out. So I need to read
Mm-hmm.
everything I can about AI, what's coming out, whether it's articles, whether it's whatever.
Yeah.
They try to invest and try to position themselves for
To
the
be
right.
ready for when opportunities
Yeah.
come across, because the biggest thing is opportunities come and it's just that you're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
You're not prepared.
Yeah, and it
Like,
might not come back. That's another
and
thing
it's
too.
and what if it passes you by and you weren't ready? You could have bought that land 10 years ago at $5,000 and now it costs $40,000.
Yeah.
But because you decided to, you know, get the TV and the cameras and the cars, you didn't, and it's hard because
Or even then, you're like, oh, it's too expensive, 5,000, and then you go
yeah,
and you're like, oh crap,
it
and then
went and it gets spent
and then
anyways.
you say the same thing again.
Yeah.
When it's 40,000, oh,
Yep.
it's too expensive. Then you wait another 5, 10
And
years,
now it's
and
100,000.
and you're like, dang, I should have bought.
Yep.
So like Robert says, it's never a bad time to buy real estate. It's very rarely. I'm not gonna say it always goes up in value, but very rarely does it decrease.
Yeah. Location is important.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think also a challenge if you're an immigrant child of immigrants, they come from another country. Like, we're very blessed. That's my biggest motto, like, of my life, like in my core, is like my parents came to this country to give us an opportunity like no other, and I can't waste it. Like, but I don't know where the drive comes from of not wanting to waste it. Like, there's plenty of people in the same position that are just like, okay, so, so, whatever.
Funny about wait, something you just said just like triggered my mind is I think all my friends are immigrants. Like even Abdul's parents are from Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't?
I know, but like most of my like close friends, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, Mark is I don't know, is Mark? I don't know. But his parents
See,
for sure. His parents for sure.
a lot of them.
Rodolfo,
Yeah.
Cecilia, they're
Mm-hmm.
from El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Oh no.
Jose's.
Oh no.
Yeah, Ono, Jose.
All the
All
Jose's,
the
you know.
Jose's that I know, there's so many.
Yeah.
Maybe the only one that I can think of right now is Jesus. I think he's from Texas.
The point is, like, you come to this country, you need to take advantage.
Miguel actually messaged me today, so shout out to Miguel.
He's a
Firestone.
genius.
He's if you're ever in Houston and in the Sugarland area and you need a technician, he's one of the best. He's probably I think he's the number one technician in the country with Firestone at least. No, he's great. He could fix anything. So if he sees this, shout out to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And then, it just seems like people are, especially right now with the economy, people are looking for opportunities. But I don't think they're mentally ready to receive those opportunities.
Basically, yeah. And so that takes us back to your question of what changed. And it was the competition, obviously. And then I asked you, hey, what books were they? And I think the first one I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I tell you and everybody that it felt like I put glasses on and I could see different. Like, I was like, oh my God, the rat race is the biggest thing. Is like, you're just going in circles and you're never going to get out. You're never going to get out until you do something different. Is what you're doing today going to help you change tomorrow? No. Like, being a nurse is only going to just take me as far as living day to day, week to week, month to month. Well, it was never going to give me freedom.
Well, I think people once, like, for example, did you ever dream? Like, you have big dreams now.
But I've always had big dreams.
But did you dream about, like, having the farm and doing that?
Yes, I thought that nursing, like, a lot of things, too, I owe to my dad. Because my dad's a dreamer. And my dad wanted us to get a high paying job, right? And get something that's a necessity, like something that's not going to go away. And so obviously, like, my brother picked nursing, right? Or he says it's his idea. I don't know. I don't know the story. Whatever. They both have their own story. And so he goes into nursing. That's what obviously helped me guide, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I'll do nursing too. And my dad liked that because um, it's a high paying job and it's a necessity job, whatever. And the plan was always like me and him, my dad and I always planned like, okay, save your money and then we're gonna start investing. Like, cause he comes from an entrepreneur background. He just comes with struggle, like, and also like not a lot of if he would have had a mentor when he first came to this country, they could have been very wealthy. But they just had like it seems like a series of unfortunate events. Like everything that they tried failed, tried failed, tried failed, and like even external circumstances, like they buy a building and then a hurricane comes, and
But it's
then
also,
knowledge.
but
That's
it's
what I'm
also
saying. Mentor,
ignorance, right?
mentor. Like, hey, get insurance. Hey, do
Yeah.
this. Hey, do that. Like there was nobody really helping,
But they
and
have to
without
also see
knowledge,
the value in it too. Like you have to be coachable and have
coachable,
to be,
open to receiving it.
yeah,
Because maybe there was and they didn't receive it. I
yeah,
don't
which
know.
we don't know. You
We
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
So there's that. And my point is, like you said, be receptive to it. But the only way you're going to be receptive is if you yourself have a reason. What's your reason? That's why I'm like, I'm trying to like come up with the perfect question of like how to ask people what drives you? What is your why? Like for me, the only thing was competition. Like the only thing was don't leave me behind. I can't be left behind. And I think it comes from my complex. Like for me, it's like I'm the little guy. Like I'm always short. I'm always like the youngest, the smallest. Like you're nobody. I'm gonna show you that I'm somebody. You're gonna know my name. I'm gonna like catch up to you, and I'm gonna pass you. So like, where did that come from? I don't know. I think it's just a complex, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's
For me, like
it's.
about me.
I know. It's about your environment, maybe. Like I think your dad is competitive.
Is
I
he?
think your dad doesn't like losing.
Mm.
Like your dad doesn't even let his nephews win. You know,
Oh yeah, he would never
little.
let. Oh, he would cheat too though.
So he would do anything to
But
win.
he would
Right?
do anything to win. Yes,
Yeah.
like oh my gosh, like he can't do it now, but I can't remember. Like he must have been 40 or 50, like still racing us to the car. Like that was just a game. But he'd be like,
Well,
ready, set,
he's
and then he
probably.
would take off and then be like, go. And like, how is a 50-year-old beating me?
I
Or
don't think
40,
he's
40
50.
year old?
He's probably 40. Cause
Yeah,
he's
40.
50. He's in his 50s now,
No,
right?
he's 60.
Yeah, but just turned 60. It wasn't
Whatever,
like.
45, maybe the latest that
No.
he did it. But yeah, is he gonna? I don't know, maybe. I don't know where it comes from, but my point is, if you figure that out, that will open you to be receptive. Whether it's like a single mom with kids, like I need to change this trajectory. Like we're headed towards this way. I don't want that. What can I do to do that? And if you're open and coachable, you're gonna be like, you're gonna listen to the lady that is a single mom, right? That's not working. That she's just doing this business and working on her own time and being able to be there at the kids soccer games and all that stuff. And it's just kind of like you have to kind of have faith, I want to say. Because without like you have to kind of like I'm saying that a lot.
I think you have to. Well, I think it also comes. You can't be lazy. Like you
No,
have
but the
to do
belief
work.
of the risk is what I'm saying. Like you have to have trust.
Yeah.
Like people
You have to
don't
just believe in the
trust,
process.
believe in the process and trust the process, but put the work in. Of course, like match. Like it's almost like we always want to say, "Well, you don't do it, right?" Like, read this book. Well, have you read it? Yes, I've read it about 50 times. Like people are always looking at the like inconsistency. Like, oh, that's why I failed, because you didn't tell me that I needed to do this or go to this event or.
So what you're saying is people don't take accountability for what
Right,
they
and
do.
it's hard to tell somebody to do something, and them just do it. It's hard when it's like a free will kind of thing, but they'll do it when it's like your job.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. And
Like
it's
what?
not like they're doing something hard.
No, like even if you tell them to read this book, like read a book,
Yeah.
and most people make excuses, even whenever they're.
I hate saying that too because I hate when people say it to me. Remember that person said it to me like, "Oh, y'all aren't serious," and like I hate like that kind of shark attitude, like of like. You're not gonna make it then. Like we're not like that. I'm not like that. I'll never be like that. Like there are excuses. I believe in excuses. I believe in excuses, Oscar.
You believe and life happens. Like not
excuses.
It's not,
whatever reasons.
Yeah, reasons. So excuses are like
It's another word for it.
Yes, but there's actual there's
they're subjective.
There's a difference between actual excuse like
and
excuse and an actual like you going out and like hey how come you didn't show up? Oh, I had an accident. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like, why? Oh, I just didn't feel. I woke up late,
Like,
or I don't feel like it.
I had an accident. Are you still coming to the meeting? That would never be me.
I know, but
like,
I was saying
see
like,
what I mean?
like,
but some people,
yes,
view that as an excuse.
Yes.
And some people that are, not crazy will be like, dude, I understand. Like, take care, like go check yourself out. Like, are you okay?
I guess I could see it both ways.
No,
the only reason is like for example last night, right, we were learning about the soccer player where something had just happened, right, his baby.
I wouldn't have told him to come to the game.
I understand that, but he still showed up, right? Like whenever they won.
I don't know.
I think they did. Anyways, we have
to watch that. We have to watch the documentary. Listen, before you say that, let's just say, right? You know why? It's not even like why would you even want him to come? His mind isn't right. His mind is at the hospital with his baby. Mm-hmm. Why? Oh, you're gonna be at the game? Like.
That's his job.
Even if he's there, he's not there. So why even make him be there? When it's circumstances like that, but then it's kind of like it gets kind of cloudy, right? Because I'm black and white. It's hard for me to be cloudy because it gets kind of cloudy. Because are you God? You can't be. Who are you to like? Oh, let me see what the reason is, and I'll tell you if it's an excuse or a reason. Well, that's where I'm like, who are you to tell me that? Like, because to me it's a reason, and to you it's an excuse.
Yeah, because like for example, when Arnold Schwarzenegger, when his dad died, I think he was about to go into I can't remember which what's it called, Olympia?
Mr. Olympia.
Mr. Olympia, thank you. But he didn't go. Like his mom was like, "Hey, you're not coming to a funeral. Like what the heck?" Like he's like, "No, what is me going there gonna do?"
But he still went to Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, he still went and competed and
some
won.
People, okay. Like, I think it's up to the person. Like, to your own judgment. But I'm saying the person that tells them. Like, when you say...
Makes them feel bad.
When you say, there's no excuse. Like...
There's some excuse.
Let's just say it this way. Let's turn it into... There's multiple circumstances where you could accomplish this task. Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's a better way.
There's always different ways.
Are there times where you can accomplish this task? What times can you accomplish it? Like, maybe we should switch. Like, not tell somebody. There's no excuse.
But they still have to want to do it. And I think the reason why people don't do it
That's what I'm trying to figure out, is why don't they do it?
Because they don't value it.
But why?
Because they don't see results. I guarantee you, if, for example...
I didn't value it either,
I know,
is what I'm saying.
If I told you, read this book, and as soon as you're done reading this book, and your bank account, you're going to see $100,000, I guarantee you every single body would finish that book that same day.
Yeah.
And every single book you finish, you 100,000.
Yeah.
Dude, but you would finish 2 books in a day.
Yeah.
Because
it's not an instant gratification.
Yes, and that's the problem. People want instant gratification,
I do too.
they don't see the. It's like we're going to the gym.
Okay, we're getting there. We're like on the edge of like It's like clicking.
I'm telling you why
Okay,
they don't.
they don't get instant gratification. So how do you overcome that
They have to
objection?
read books to
How do
be.
you overcome the objection of, look, it's not going to be instant gratification, but
It's discipline.
it's the compound effect.
It's discipline.
It's the compound effect.
Yeah.
And it's like
But it's
a little
discipline.
bit a day
Which is discipline.
keeps the debt away.
Yeah, which is discipline. Doing a little bit a day, every single day.
It's discipline because
creates
when
big
you
changes.
look at your 24 hours of a day, right? There's that one time you go to the toilet and you just cannot do anything. Like, what can you do while you're in the toilet, sitting at the toilet? Like,
listen to a book.
You could listen to a book. Whether you're in there 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'm doing it while you shower, driving.
We do it while we're driving. Like, it's just
90% of the time.
90% of the time. 10% we listen to Harry Potter. No, 5% we listen to Harry Potter, and the other 5%
to music. Yeah.
When we need to get pumped, sometimes we need to get just scream.
Yeah, sometimes you don't want to you don't want to get burnt out because
you don't want to burn yourself out. Yeah, you're not absorbing. You're not absorbing. So once people figure out that it's not instant gratification and you trust the process and you stay disciplined and consistent and coachable, you will find success.
So let's move on to the reading books. What has been the book
My favorite book
that has greatly impacted your life, and also what book would you recommend somebody that potentially is looking to, change their life, maybe change their mentality, change their whole outlook?
There's a few.
Okay.
My favorite that helps me with the good and helps me with the bad is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I love that book, but it also made me very depressed, and kind of negative, because it made me realize nobody cares. And it's the truth. And the truth sucks. And that's it. End of story.
And then the other, you said there's several.
There's several. So I like that one because, the good is, you figure out how to talk to people. The bad for me.
You figure when people are trying to manipulate you, right? Like when people are just gassing you up.
Yes, it's so obvious now.
And telling you all the things you want to hear, and you're like, okay, what do you want from me?
Yeah, you're looking for something.
You're not just.
And it sucks that now you have those glasses. Just get ready to see. That's all it is. Just get ready to be wow, I see. Mm-hmm. I was blind and now I can see. That's what it feels like. And so it helped me, and it, whatever. You know how I feel about that. And then Rich Dad Poor Dad is important, I feel, because it's employee to entrepreneur. And then the one I like too is Richest Man in Babylon. I love the way that story goes. It talks about the opportunities past when you're not ready, like the guy that missed out because he was like, no, I'll check him tomorrow, and then he missed out on an amazing deal. It also talks about don't invest in things you know nothing about. Mm-hmm. That's a really good book, actually. Yeah, it is. I might read it again because I'm about to be finished with this one, Unreasonable Hospitality, which has been good. It's just too freaking long. No, it is. If he could redo it, that would be great, but I have it at 2 times speed because it's just when is this going to end? Sometimes you feel like that about books. I like it, but get to the point. I don't know. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People. What was the other one? Richest Man in Babylon. GoPro, obviously, if you're going to be into network marketing. And then, what's another favorite? Oh, Never Split the Difference.
That was a really good
I
one.
like that one a lot.
Yeah.
John Maxwell, if you're trying to level up in your leadership skills. And The Compound Effect, I liked that one. Atomic Habits is the one that helped me lose weight. It helped me figure out my habit of overeating. I would finish a meal, and if I had drink, a specific drink left, not water. Water doesn't count. I'm talking about a Sprite or a lemonade. If I still had some in my cup, I'd be like, oh, I'm not done eating. So I would take the cup and grab some chips and continue eating, even though I had just eaten a meal. So, that book helped a lot with, figuring out your habits. And, Don't Hurt Me by David
Oh,
Goggins.
that one's really good
Or
too.
Can't Hurt Me.
Can't hurt
Can't
me.
Hurt Me. That one made me stop being a bitch about working out. Like discipline. But which one really helped me working out? Was it that one?
We were reading it while we worked out.
We were like that one kind of like opened the door of like you're never, but there was one that was like motivation isn't real. Like you're never gonna be motivated to do it. I think so.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be motivated to do it. You need to just do
discipline.
it.
Yeah,
like
discipline.
it's discipline. This is part of my and Atomic Habits. I want to say yes. Atomic Habits had that saying. If you're gonna work out, it was Atomic Habits that helped me with that. That's the one that pushed Can't Hurt Me knowledge into a bigger perspective of, you know what, I'm an athlete. And athletes work out every day. I'm an artist. Artists do XYZ every day. Like this is what I am.
Yeah.
And when I kind of was like, because I've always been intimidated by the word athlete, because if you look at me, it's like, dude, you're overweight. Like you're not an athlete. You don't look like an athlete. So when I read it on that book, it was intimidating because I was like, I'm gonna say it and people are gonna make fun of me because I am one of those people that haven't overcome the challenge of not caring what people think. Like I care, and so like that's what kind of holds me down because I'm embarrassed. Like I don't want to be embarrassed. And so when I read that, I was intimidated. But as I worked out and gained strength and gained endurance and etc., I felt more confident in terms of like I can work out. I won't get gassed. Like I'm a little bit of an athlete. And then like the more the weight came off and the better, stronger I got, the more I could be more confident in saying I work out. Like I'm an athlete. Yes, we do this, and this is my daily routine. And we have been consistent. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know how your week streak is at, but
37.
Mine is like at 42.
For the week streak?
Or 40. Oh yeah, 40. Because 12 more weeks, 3 more months, and I have worked out every week for a year.
Damn. I think I'm at 37 for the tonal streak.
And Peloton? Let's hear about Peloton.
No, Peloton.
How is your streak?
We don't worry about Peloton.
Like we used to when you got it, you were concerned.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I still stuck with it.
Well, I have an injury right now, so.
That is on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect your legs.
It affects my legs too.
See? What are you talking about? Discipline?
But I don't know. So to conclude, what do you think people like? Let's kind of conclude everything from books
Summary.
to summarize. What do you think people can get, like, if you're in high school, if you're looking for an opportunity, what should they do to improve, to find an opportunity?
Okay. The thing is that if you have a passion, you're so blessed. Like you're like if you have a passion and you're aware of it, you're so lucky. Like we're type of people that are kind of talentless, I would say. Like we both agreed on that.
No.
Okay, well then just me.
Well,
because I can honestly say that I have no talent.
I think I'm an athlete, but I think I never got the chance to flourish in it. Like I'm good at everything that if I do it, I become good at everything I.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You
Like I learn quickly on the stuff that I really want.
But can you be an athlete? He couldn't even wrestle me with that. You couldn't even wrestle me without being injured. So.
Yeah, that's because I'm old.
So then it's not current.
I'm not saying current. I'm saying like
back then.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, babe. You're an athlete. You could have been an athlete. Then let me speak for me. So that way it's more like this is what I believe about myself. So if you have a talent, you're lucky. I unfortunately never had a talent. Like I can't draw, can't sing, can't dance, can't do anything.
I know what you mean though.
So I felt very like lost. Like it's just like, damn, I'm not good at anything. Like when people ask me, what do you want to do? Nothing. Can I get paid to do nothing? Can I get paid to watch TV all day? I like watching TV. No. Okay, well then,
You'd be surprised.
I guess I'll go for nursing because my brother did it, and I know I can do it. If he did it, I can do it. That's all. That's all. That was me, and that sucks.
See, but I think that's false nowadays. Like, I think people get paid to play video games. I think it comes down to a bit of luck
Consistency.
and consistency. Like, for example, if you watch enough content on movies, you can start a channel about movies. If you read books and you enjoy books,
Which I do.
you can start a channel on books. Like, with the internet, that has given us so much ability. Like, for me, like, I love talking to people. I love interacting with people and getting to know their culture, getting to know their interests, getting to know, like, just them.
That's your
like
talent.
what why people think that the way they think, and I truly want to understand, and sometimes maybe try to make other people understand that they're wrong. Especially, I'm not gonna get into it right now, but it's very fascinating to me of like why people believe, and even if when they think they're wrong, their ego gets in the way and they can't admit that, like, they know they're wrong but they can't admit it. So it's very fascinating to me to see that and like experience it, and I love experiencing other people's cultures and like just their belief systems. It's interesting, the like every person, even if they were your neighbor and like we're from the same, as sees the world differently. Like, nobody sees or hears the same thing.
Twins.
Yeah, they all have
They're
different
different,
experiences,
yes.
and so those experiences develop. But it doesn't even come to that. It's how their brain is structured, like how it's wired. Like, even it could be identical twins that have the exact same thing, but just because one have, there can be more sympathetic, and the other person could be more just doesn't care. But they're just like technically the same person. It's just fascinating to me why that happens and where does that come from, and like
I think that's a talent.
I don't know. I just like all kinds of stuff like space, aliens, kinds of conspiracy theories. I like politics. I like just learning. You know what it is? I love learning, and I try to learn from others. And
I do too, but not about people.
Yeah, but you don't care. Like, you don't.
I'm
care.
not about people.
No.
I think I like learning.
What?
Just basic knowledge, not
But what is basic knowledge?
like you can buy a house and not get capital gains tax and like stuff like that. Yeah, like
okay.
About books but not like, oh, where are you from? I mean, to a certain extent, but I'm not like, oh, it's not fascinating at all.
To me, it's very curious. I'm like, well, what's that country like?
Care.
What did you like?
Yes, I care to like you, but you're like on another level of like.
I'm just
interested.
Curious. Well, yeah, because I'm just curious. I'm like, what was that like? What did that experience? Like, for example, if I see a homeless person, I'm like, how did he get there? What decisions? Like, who was he before? Who was he as a kid? What decision got him to get there? Because it was one decision, and then that one decision turned into another decision, turned into another. To now, we're driving and we see him homeless, asking for money. You probably on drugs, but like, what was the first thing that
led that
opened that door to
dominoes?
Like, now you're here. Like, you could have been here with the family, picket fence, a dog, whatever his dreams was.
Yeah.
But he isn't. He's over here begging for money. Like, what happened? I'm always very curious on like, what's your story? And with that, guys, I know it seems like a road, but with that, been on it for quite a bit. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And she'll probably be showing up more on the podcast more often.
Maybe.
If she wants to. She's always welcome. And hopefully, we continue to grow the podcast and continue
provide value,
and also hopefully upgrade some stuff around here and make the podcast better and make it more entertaining for y'all and make it more, like she said, add more value to y'all. And if y'all haven't gotten any value, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, guys, have a good one. Peace.